I accidentally made my cat gay and he thinks I'm his lover, so my cat, Frankie, recently came down with a pretty severe stomach virus. The vet gave me some antibiotic drops to put in his food, but when I do that Frankie wouldn't touch it. So, the vet suggested using a small dropper tube to insert the medicine directly into his anus. The first time was absolute hell. My cat fought me the whole time, but once the tube was in and the medicine pushed out, he seemed to calm quite a bit. Well, the next day he was acting strange. He has always been an independent cat, rarely coming around, never wanting to be held, but as I sat on the couch he started walking back and forth, meowing and rubbing my leg. He then went and jumped up on the table where we'd done the application the night before and meowed louder and louder until I decided I guess we will go ahead and do the medical treatment. This time he didn't fight me though, and when I inserted the tube he closed his eyes, stretched his neck, and let out a noise that can only be described as a moan of pure ecstasy. Maybe the medicine made him feel better, I supposed. That night he slept on my bed curled up right next to me, which he had never done before. For the next week, he'd do the same thing every day, meow on the table until he got his fix. But then the medicine ran out. Even though I had no medicine he'd still cry and beg for it. I thought maybe if I insert it without medicine he will realize it doesn't make him feel better anymore and forget about it. Well, that was 2 weeks ago and he is only getting worse. He walks around me all day with his tail up presenting his rectum and trying to entice me. He is demanding insertions more and more often. Yesterday I caught him looking longingly at the turkey baster. When I sit he jumps on my lap purring and rubbing me affectionately. It was then in horror I realized my cat thinks I'm his gay lover, and that I've been sexually pleasing him for weeks now. Needless to say, the sexual tension between us is palpable. How do I let my cat know that I'm not gay, but still like him as a friend? BRB. Going to bleach my eyes after what I just read. Take me with you. Please. I beg you. I'm going with you. Me too. Don't forget me. Lemme join y'all before the ship sails. The time I used a plastic bag as a condom to lose my V-card. I was 15, and my girlfriend was also 15, and I had an idea that when we did this it would be memorable. Well, little did I know it was a little more memorable than it should have been. We get to the point where we need a condom and I do not have one, so me being the teenage horn dog decided to go look for alternatives, and it came down to a plastic Ziploc bag or a roll of saran wrap. The wrap didn't work at all. I wouldn't advise it, had a close call, so I used a plastic Ziploc bag and believe it or not it worked great, for 15 seconds. Then when I looked down and noticed blood in the bag I panicked. The seams of where the bag was cut to size had cut the sides of my PP. I was bleeding all in the bag and eventually had to call my dad to take me to the hospital for blood loss. Let's just say we broke up not much longer after and my dad wasn't too proud. Especially when my girlfriend's mom walked in to help deal with it in the as she was a night shift worker. Want to share your stories and get featured on a video? Check the link in the description. I've pooped my pants 7 times in my 16 years as an adult, and all 7 were this last weekend. Ate a burrito Friday evening, which gave me food poisoning. Woke up in the middle of the night with soiled shorts, number 1, and hurled them into the wastebasket at my bed. The bed was clean, got everything in the basket, took a shower, and changed my clothes. Lots of pain, read a book. An hour later tried to let out gas, but nothing but liquid, #2. Boot another 4-ish times while taking a shower, put on new clothes, bed still clean. Try to watch the Max on my phone. Feel like I have to boot again. Go back to do it in the shower, and the force causes number 3. Change shorts, bed still clean. Get up thrice more to relieve me, learning my lesson. Try to sleep. Wake up to number 4. Starting to get too weak to move around properly. Change shorts, bed clean, sleep. Wake up to boot in the trash. Manage to hold in liquid until I get to the pot, stay clean stranger, sleep. Not able to eat or drink anything until Saturday night. Ice water, 1 small bowl of Cheerios. Sleep. Wake up Sunday feeling better and also to number 5, the runt of the litter, bed still clean. Shower, change my clothes, and watch a movie. Sunday afternoon goes to the kitchen for ice water, and 1 small bowl of Cheerios. Sneeze hard. Number 6, the big, ugly sister. Mostly misses shorts and hits the kitchen floor as splatter. Go to the bowl, clean up the floor, take shower and change. Wait a couple of hours on the Cheerios. Go to bed Sunday feeling spent, but better. Wake up to number 7, the atrocity, middle of the night. The bed is spent, strip it all. Shower, change clothes, wrap me in a spare blanket, and sleep until the alarm goes off for work. This has been my time. I sent an angry email to my high school teacher. My teacher screamed at me at the end of the day on Friday over me not turning in a physical copy of the homework. I use an iPad for all my school work, and most of my teachers are cool with it and even encourage me to use it, except for this one teacher. She hates that I email her my finished work even though I do it correctly and turn it in on time. As I said, my other teachers are cool with it and grade my work this way. I have done this for 2 months, ever since my back started hurting, and I had to keep fewer things in my book bag. She knows that I have a back injury and has even been emailed by my mother about why I had to miss a few days of class because it hurt so much. However, ever since I was late to class a few times for only a couple minutes due to going to the restroom and there always being a long line, she's had it out for me thinking I want a special privilege. She's taken me out into the hallway more than once to explain to me that I have to have either a pass to the restroom or I have to tell her I'm going to the bathroom, which is weird or whatever in my mind. But there are only 6 minutes to get to class, and it's almost impossible to run upstairs, wait in a long line of girls, go to the bathroom, and then get to class in under 6 minutes. I've had to explain to her more than once that I take a specific medication that makes me drink a lot of water and so I have to go to the restroom more than others, but she has told me, I've got athletes in my classes, and they have to go to the restroom as well. And they don't have to take my medication, but she didn't care. Then, on Friday, because I hadn't turned in my homework the way she wanted, even though I participated in class and did it right, she started scolding me. I had had enough and put my hands up and said, "Look, it's Thanksgiving break, and I don't want people yelling at me." I then started to walk away, and she lost it. She started screaming and yelling at me how, "You better come back here. I could have you written up for insubordination," with a look on her face like she wanted to kill me. I slowly walked back over to her despite being scared as hell, while she screamed at me about how she wasn't afraid to have a meeting with my mom about this, how I was equal to everyone in my class, and that there wasn't any special privilege with me. After a few minutes, while she yelled at me, I waited patiently for her to finish, and when she was done, she looked extremely satisfied with herself. I then tried to speak and explain myself, but then she yelled, "No. No," and I said, "I let you speak," but then she kept yelling. I threw my hands up and yelled at her to just give me a 0 while walking away from her. She kept yelling, saying if I walked away, I would get a 0, and I kept yelling, "I'm okay with that." As another teacher walked into the room, looking as confused as duck as I left. I had a doctor's appointment that day, and my mother had to quickly take me to that and then drive to the hospital because my father was in the hospital. After getting home and a little bit of crying, I wrote an angry email to this woman. This is what I said. "Hello, Mrs. Insert's name here. I'm glad you're willing to talk to my mother about what happened before I left your class. I have spoken to her about what happened, and she will be talking to you soon. However, your reaction to me walking away from you when you kept saying the same thing to me over and over again about privilege is not insubordination. It is not justified for you to borderline scream at me for a simple assignment. I can report you to an administrator for verbal harassment if you're willing to write me up for insubordination. Not only did you yell at me, but you threatened to get me in trouble." This goes back to what we were talking about in the Socratic seminar in class. Are people qualified to be police officers if they can't handle their reactions? Just like police officers, teachers have a big responsibility. Are you qualified to be a teacher if you can't handle your temper? What kind of person yells at a person for walking away from them? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Now, I don't know whatever is going on in your life at the moment, but I can tell you, I will not stand there and let you yell at me. You can get angry all you want, but at the end of the day, it reflects more on you as a teacher and as a person with how you responded to this situation. I take back what I said. I don't want a 0, and I will not be getting a 0 for this assignment. I participated in class, did what I was supposed to do, and completed the paper. While you were getting angry and not letting me speak, I was trying to tell you that I could not print out the assignment. Your problem here is that you're unwilling to grade my work even though I have done the assignments because it's not convenient for you. The rest of my teachers are grading my homework assignments this way easily, and Mrs. Insert assistant teacher here said I could send it to her. You're being difficult and unreasonable. You will give me a grade, and you will not be giving me a 0. Here's my work. Send her a copy of my work. Am I an asshole for sending her an email? I jizzed in a urine cup. I went to the doctor for a physical in high school to play baseball. After a while of being there, the nurse called me back and she was feeling my balls. After she did that, she handed me a little clear cup and said, "Go in here," and told me to go in the bathroom. After choking my chicken for a while, I come out and place the little cup on her desk. She picks it up and shakes it a little and says, "Sir, we only needed your urine." The feeling I had at that moment was indescribable to anything I have experienced before. All I wanted to do at that moment was get out of there as quickly as I possibly could.
Like and subscribe for more ducking content.